lie detection, and body language. Okay, by you watching this video, I want to be able to discuss with you guys about Home Health Success Academy's training regarding our lie detection and our body language course. In anything that we do business in, we need to be able to make sure that we're great communicators. And with communication, people thinking that it is all about words and us talking. Unfortunately, with that is you're wrong. Linguistic and verbals and words are only 7% of communication. The rest is pretty much body language and linguistic, meaning how you position your body, and at the same time is your tonality. How does your voice range go? Is it a monotone? Does it go up and down, or does it go down straight low? It doesn't matter, but what matters. But what you need to understand is that you need to be able to be aware of everything from your body language, your tonality, and of course the words that you're using. And so we have a variety of different training of, what are the right words to use, and, amplification words, what words to take out of your dictionary, your vocabulary, how to be able to say the words, how to be able to speak, and how to be able to position your body. In addition to that, we also teach body language, lie detection courses. And the reason for that is you want to be able to detect if people are lying to you, or at the same time as if they're showing body language that is positive or that is negative. This goes for if you are interviewing somebody or if you are actually presenting to a physician. Let's say, for example, you're presenting to a physician and you tell them something and you ask them, are you going to start referring to us? Yet they're showing negativity in their body language. You are knowing in your head that maybe that they don't fully understand your company yet, and that you can actually go ahead and represent. Same thing as well as if you ask a question to a marketer that you're interviewing and you ask him, have you ever done anything bad in the past? Yet you see their body language where they close themselves up a little bit, and you know that this is a touchy subject. Well, you need to be able to then keep on asking questions and get those out of the way and really figure that out. Look, you want to be able to hire the right marketers. You want to be able to hire the right team for your company. You also want to make sure you know and strategize yourselves. The largest organizations out there are making sure their team are properly trained. And this goes more than just home health or healthcare marketing. This goes for any other, Fortune 500 organizations. The reason why they are in the top is because they train, they practice, they drill, they rehearse, they make sure that they send their employees to a lot of educational items, a lot of seminars. This is what you need to do. Look, I'm sure you've sent your nurses to a lot of clinical seminars. I'm sure you need to make sure that your marketing team, your team in your office are trained properly. The phone etiquettes, body language, making sure they're good at communication, at using the right words. These are all important to be able to be successful. So make sure you're properly trained and you guys are knowing what to say, when to say things. So when you're interviewing the person, see how their body is, how they're positioned. And so let me give you a few more tips. When you are speaking to somebody and you are interviewing them, if they have closed body language where they're actually their shoulders are shrugged forward, their head is kind of dropped down, this shows a person who is submissive. And the last thing that you want is you don't want them to be nervous and acting the same exact way when they are speaking to physicians. Because would you want to, like non-verbally, would you be able to want to work with a person who is not sure of themselves, not positive? And by you using your body language, you can see that they're doing this. And so this is one example of how we teach a lot of our marketers, a lot of our staff, even when our nurses are speaking to their patients, we teach them proper body language because we want them to be able to show subconsciously that they are a positive person. So we do a lot of power poses where we teach people how to literally sit, how they need to stand, how they need to position themselves during a meeting, during a patient visit, and even before they even walk into the room. These are vital basic trainings on how they position their body. And so in our training for our body language, we have all these different power poses that we truly recommend. Just by making sure that you don't close your arms, you don't cross your arms when you're speaking to people. Look, when people cross their arms in front of you, that means they're uncomfortable. That means they're a little bit nervous. That means they're scared. Look, how many times have you seen somebody cross their arms while you're speaking to them, and you start paying attention to the crossing their arms, and you know they're closing themselves off. And most of the time is when somebody crosses their arms, they're closing themselves up, you should look at their facial expressions. Look, facial expressions, body language is a major part in communications. You know, the FBI, the CIA, the police, they pay attention to all of these, subconscious body language and, subconscious lie detection techniques. The reason why is this is going to tell more about that person. So you want to be able to learn the proper ways to be able to speak to people, to be able to communicate, to be able to persuade. And these are just a few techniques that we want to share with you. Make sure that you guys actually watch the videos that we have in regards to body language, in regards to lie detection, in regards to communication. It's available on our website, homehealthsuccessacademy.com. All the information is there for you, and we want to be able to help you guys to become better communicators, to be able to learn how to speak to your staff correctly, to be able to learn how to use it on basic day-to-day communication, and ultimately to be able to help you guys become masters at sales, become masters at marketing, become masters at getting more patients, more referrals, and more leads to be able to have that successful company. Okay, so here is a few more tips on hiring a marketer when you're interviewing them, when you're hiring them. All right, look, don't require or don't make it a need that they have to have a sales and marketing background. I've said that in previous videos. They don't need to have that. Look, some of the best ones you want out there are customer service representatives. If you can find somebody that used to work at a hotel, like in the front desk, the concierge people, those are amazing people to work for you. You know who else you want to be able to hire? People who work for organizations that believe in customer service, that believe in communications. Some of the best ones out there, and I'm going to say this again, I've done it before. I've hired people that worked at Starbucks. Why? They probably get paid $9.50 an hour. But they're energetic. They love what they do. They are well kept. They present themselves well. Imagine you have these type of people and you train them with these techniques that we're sharing with you. You put them through our 4-day training, programs. You give them, make sure that they watch all our other videos that we have to train them. Imagine what can happen with these people when they know the services, when they know the products, and then they're able to present it well. And at the same time as you can give them a great structure of pay, you can pay them what they're already getting paid right now and give them bonuses to be able to get more. They get, not bonuses, but they get them incentives so that they can actually do more. Look, they don't have to have a sales experience, and especially don't have to have sales experience in the home health. Traditionally, we always ask this one thing when we put an application out there, when we put a job posting, is must have established ties with the communities. Look, I have established ties with the communities. The average person has ties with the communities. But the biggest question is this: who are the ties? Who are their connections? Who is in their network? That's the biggest problem that goes with that, is we put it there, we put that in the job descriptions, but we don't say what we want them to be able to have ties with. Write it in there. Must have 20 contacts with physicians who trust you and already is willing to be able to work with your organization or whichever company you're working with. Say that you have ties with nursing homes. Write down what you expect when you're actually putting that in your job description, when you are posting these things in Craigslist, in Indeed.com, or whatever Tribune is in your state. You want to be able to let people know what you're looking for. But look, the companies that I've created, the people that I've actually brought in, from what I've learned from my mistakes in the past, is that I don't need to bring in people who have experience. I'd rather bring people without any experience, with a willingness to learn, and wants to be able to be successful, and wants to be able to take care of themselves and their family, and is willing to do anything, as long as it's the right thing to do, to take care and get those referrals. So this is what you want. Hire somebody without an experience in the home health industry. Why? Because they're not tainted. They don't know the little bad things that other people have showed them to do. And what you can do is build somebody from the ground up. Next thing is you want to be able to make sure that they differentiate the two things. Everything is in sales, in marketing, in success. There's a lot of separate parts that goes on. There's the pretty much acquiring people, like knowing, who you want to be able to target. Then there's the sales process, okay? Then also there's the marketing process. Then there's also the presentation. Well, marketing and presentation almost go side by side, but then there's the closing aspects of everything. That's another portion of marketing, of being able to get our business. And then lastly is follow-up. They need to be able to learn how to follow up. And this is very important. So you need to be able to ask them, what do you know about sales? Or what do you think about sales? The biggest problem that we always face is when you ask a question, when you ask anybody, it doesn't have to be in the healthcare realm, just ask anybody about what their idea is of a salesperson, or how do they picture a salesperson. And a lot of time is people will always say, well, I think of a salesman like a car salesman, or those door-to-door guys. They will say slimy, sneaky. They try to take advantage of you. There's a lot of negativity when it comes to people talking about sales. But sales is what makes the world go round, because we're all salespeople. We're all trying to sell something. Whether we're trying to sell our kids to be good kids and not to be naughty, or we're trying to sell our husbands that it was okay to purchase that Coach bag. Or we can tell our wives that, it's okay, hon, that I'm playing fantasy football on the weekend with the guys. Look, we're trying to sell something, whether it's profitable or we're just trying to sell a product or a service or the idea of using something. So, in sales, it's okay to be salespeople, because that is what's going to be able to get your organization successful. But the question is, when you do sales, when you bring in a new sales team, when you bring in a new marketing team, you want them to be ethical. And you want to be able to make sure that this goes into your section of things, that you provide them with training to keep them in the ethical aspect of things. In healthcare sales marketing, we actually face an extra hurdle, the fact that there are laws and stipulations and regulations of what we can and cannot do. So by you asking people what do they think about sales, you want to be able to get a gauge on what they know. And at the same time, as you make sure, look, if people don't know, it's because you didn't tell them. And in sales and marketing in the healthcare industry, don't expect people to know things. Just as don't expect your marketing team to know everything. You want to be able to practice, drill, rehearse, research out there, find out the new techniques. And I'm glad that you guys are watching our videos, because that's what we're here for, is to provide you guys with the new techniques. Imagine if we can actually be part of your team, to literally work with them on a weekly basis and be able to help your organization. And if you cannot hire a marketing manager who normally gets paid 6 figures or high 5 figures, we can actually do it for a low cost, where we will be responsible, where your team will report to us. We're going to be able to make sure that we watch your team for you, and at the same time as point them to the right directions, give them advice where they need to be. If you want us to be able to help you, which I know you want us to make sure we help you become successful, that's why you're watching this video series. That's why you're watching our free videos, if you've seen some of them already, and that's why you are watching this video series right now, is because you want success, because you want us to train your team. So let us train them. If you want any more information, give us a call here at Home Health Success Academy, and we will definitely love to be able to help you guys even more. Now, to add more to things is, when you have somebody walk in and apply for you, you want to be able to see how fast can they do things. So what you want to do is you give them the application. Have them complete an application as quick as possible. Now, part of your application, and this should be part of any person that is applying for a position to your company, you want to be able to automatically let them know the ground rules. Example, in bright lights, in bright bold letters, show them your non-compete clause. Explain to them that if they start working for your company, there is such thing as a non-compete clause. Make sure your lawyers and your law team, or whoever is handling a lot of that stuff for you, provides you with an amazing non-compete clause agreement. This is very important for your organization to have. By you letting them know ahead of time what you require, that what will happen when somebody works for you, you need to be able to make sure you deliver that and let them know right there and then. Why? Because if they do not agree to it, then you can say, well, thank you so much for coming by. Have a beautiful day. Look, if they're not willing to start with your basic rules of your organization, then they should not even be allowed to step foot into your company or even waste another second, another minute, another hour, or even a drop of your saliva anymore. So you need to make sure you offer them that automatically. When I'm posting a position out there, like in Indeed or Craigslist or any other medium out there, I always like to put this one sentence is. And this one sentence goes like this: don't even call unless you are an overachiever and can prove it. Can build an amazing organization and is very, very willing to learn and at the same time be an individual, a go-getter, and take care of business. Look, what I'm telling people is this: don't even waste my time. Just as I told you, when you present to a new hire or a new person applying for a position and you show them that non-compete clause, you're telling them right there and then that you mean business and that you don't want to have people that wants to mess around. It goes the same exact way where you tell people when you post a job, don't even call unless you are an overachiever, unless you're willing to learn, unless you're willing to become a successful person. You're writing this is because there's a lot of people who just looks into these job applications and wanting to keep on applying. Don't waste your time. Your time is valuable. The people that don't mind wasting their time are people that are not successful. Your time is valuable. I know it is. That's why you're watching these videos, because you want to learn more. So don't let other people waste your time by you having to interview the wrong person right away.